The world the last couple months have been crazy, and with everything shutting down, it really put a damper on being able to go to stores and buy books. But as you'll see, that really didn't put a stop on me finding a way to get books. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is JJ, the Bearded Bookworm, and today I'm going to be doing my summer book haul. I haven't done one of these since April, but here's all the books that I've bought over the last few months with everything shut down. So first up are my Cosmere books. These are the last books that I needed to round out my Cosmere collection. I have one of everything currently released at this point. I picked up Shadows of Self and Bands of Mourning, the last two books in Mistborn Era 2. I also picked up the second and third volumes of White Sand. These are his graphic novel series, also set in the Cosmere. I'm nervous because most people that have read this really don't like it, but I'm going to give it a shot because I know there's characters in this that play a big part in the Cosmere as a whole. One thing you're going to see in a lot of this haul are books that are currently on my TBR or that I've just recently read. I've focused more on what books am I wanting to read and going and getting those books and then immediately reviewing them to try to not just have a bookshelf full of books that I haven't read. So the only Stephen King book on this is Carrie, and it's on my TBR for August. Thank you. The next up are the second and third books in the Dresden Files series. I ordered this one online and then lucked out the one time I went out and went thrift shopping for some clothes for work. They had this for like $1, so now I've got up to the third book, so I'm only like a fifth of the way through the series at this point. So the next book that I bought is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is the illustrated edition, which I'm not sure why it's called the illustrated edition because there are very little illustrations in it actually, which I mean if you throw in a couple pictures I guess it's technically the illustrated one. But I've had my eye on this for a little bit, and Royal Assassin just came out in this edition, so I'm going to be picking that one up soon as well. So one thing I've been wanting to do is read more sci-fi books, and so I picked up Binti, and apparently I'm a little bit of a mood reader because I could not get into this book. I mean, to be fair, I only read like the first couple pages, but I read them multiple times, and it just wasn't in the mood for reading and could not get into it. But I am going to be reading this really soon because I'm really excited. It's about a woman who's from like a really poor tribe and gets accepted into like a space type program, and there's aliens involved. I'm not sure. This whole book is like 3 short stories and a novella. So the book that actually was able to pull me out is Kings of the Wild. So I've actually already finished this book, and there's a review coming later this month. But thoroughly enjoyed this. It's like a 70s rock inspired fantasy story about a group of guys that get the band back together, so to speak. So these last 4 are all on my TBR for August. The first one is We Are at the Storm by Devin Madsen. This is a book that got self-published in 2018 and got picked up by Orbit Books for the entire series. And this just came out in June under Orbit Books. Next is the, at this point, famous Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I've only heard good things about this book. The third book, The Burning God, comes out in November. So I picked this up. Probably this month I'll be picking up Dragon Republic to follow up this one and be ready for The Burning God in November. Then our last fantasy book is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I had mixed feelings about Red Rising, but from what I've been told, Golden Sun and Morning Star are head and shoulders better than it, and so I'm gonna continue the series because apparently this and the next book are the best ones in the series. So hopefully I enjoy it. Last and certainly not least is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This book's been making waves in BookTube for the last few months. The second book, The Fires of Vengeance, comes out in November as well. So it's on my list of books that I need to read to be prepared for that. And I'm actually currently reading it. I'm only in the first chapter of this, but I'm really enjoying it. I've tried to read it on the Kindle a couple of times, and just the formatting of that just was throwing me off really bad. But so far, it's been a lot easier to keep track of everything, reading it in a physical form. So there you have it. Those are the books that I picked up over the summer. Let me know down in the comments, what books have you been picking up recently, and let me know what ways you've been buying books, whether it's through ebooks or actually going out and buying books at bookstores or strictly online shopping. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and I'll see you tomorrow.